Shall I start?
Yes, please.
The science of today is the technology of tomorrow. Good morning to one and all. With fresh thoughts and optimistic approaches, I am delighted to welcome the Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Pradeep Kurulkar, Science India Forum Advisory Board members, teachers, students, SIF GCC chapters office bearers, and all invitees to the Science India Forum World Students' Day, birth anniversary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. For the smooth proceedings of this meeting, I request the audience to mute the mics, keep mobiles on silent mode, and switch on the camera throughout the meeting. Science India Forum Bahrain is a voluntary non-profit organization formed by a group of like-minded people to promote science among students in Bahrain. SIF Bahrain operates under the patronage of the Embassy of India, Bahrain, and is supported by the Indian Space Research Organization. SIF Bahrain functions in association with the National Science Movement of India, popularly known as Vigyan Bharati. Our motto is promoting a new generation of creative scientists. To achieve this, we, Science India Forum Bahrain, provide mental, physical, and emotional support to our children. Science, as we believe, is a way of life. India has contributed a great number of inventions and discoveries in the field of science and technology. We at SIF Bahrain try and discover potential scientists for the future from our younger generations. Once again, I welcome you all to this meeting and let us begin today's official session. Sunshine is a welcome thing. It brings a lot of brightness. To bring brightness to our program and to welcome our guests, let me invite Mr. Prashant Dharmaraj, General Secretary, SIF Bahrain.
Namaste. Life and time are the world's best teachers. Life teaches to make good use of time, and time teaches the value of life. With tributes to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, please allow me to deliver my welcome address. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, teachers of various schools, students, office bearers of GCC SIF chapters, and eminent team members of Science India Forum Bahrain. First and foremost, on behalf of SIF Bahrain, I would like to wish you all a very delightful good morning. It gives me a great pleasure indeed to welcome the Honorable President of Science India Forum, Dr. Vinod Manikara. He showed us how to derive happiness from doing the selfless service to the society and keeps motivating us by sharing the appropriate modern management methods applicable to Science India Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Vinod Manikara, President of SIF Bahrain. Excellence is a self-imposed, self-directed, lifelong process, and it's not by accident. Let me introduce our chief guest and keynote speaker, Dr. Pradeep Kurulkar, who worked for more than 33 years as scientist in Drdo, Defense Research and Development Organization, Government of India. He is an electrical engineer with master's degree in power electronics from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. Dr. Pradeep ji received many prestigious awards, such as National Science Day Award from Defense Minister of India, Agni Award of Technology Excellence from Prime Minister of India for his contribution towards Agni project. More than that, these awards he feels the time spent with the Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the best time and more than any award of his life. He could work with the Dr. APJ for 6 years in missile program. On behalf of everybody, I consider this as a pleasure and a special privilege accompanied by humility to wholeheartedly welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Pradeep Kurulkar, for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam birth anniversary celebrations. Welcome, sir. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Shyam Kumar, our Science India Forum Advisory Board member. On behalf of SIF Bahrain, I welcome Dr. Sham Kumar and other advisory board members too. An extra special word of welcome must go to Sri Abha Ravindranath Babu, Organizing Secretary, Vigyan Bharati Middle East, and other representatives from GCC SIF chapters. We welcome you all. We are also delighted to Shastra Pratibha and BSIC coordinators to offer a warm welcome to all teachers, parents, and all invitees. On behalf of all team members of Science India Forum Bahrain, let me raise up hearty welcome, big and warm enough to hold each one of you. Thank you all. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. May I invite SIF Bahrain President Dr. Vinod Mankara for presidential address.
Namaste. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Kurukarji, SIF Advisory Board Member, Dr. Shyamji, dear students, teachers, parents, invited guests, Science India Forum volunteers, let me wish you all Vijay Dashami ki Shubhkamanaएं. Today, we are celebrating World Students' Day. The birth anniversary of former President APJ Abdul Kalam on October 15 is observed as World Students' Day. Dr. Kalam was a great teacher, an eminent scientist, and a great statesman. For his unique quality of being close to common people, especially youngsters, he is lovingly referred to as People's President. After completing his term as 11th President of India, Dr. Kalam went back to teaching on the very next day. On World Students' Day, we remember how he encouraged students to dream big and never be afraid of failure. Dr. Kalam was a role model for teachers also. Good teachers make great human beings, Dr. Kalam believed. The creativity is indeed the result of the education process and the environment of the school, and above all, teachers' capability in igniting the minds of the students. The essence of it can be seen in his words. I quote, "Learning gives creativity. Creativity leads to thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you great." Unquote. This Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam had said in his address at the presentation of National Award to Teachers in 2004. The former president believed the aim of the teacher should be to build character, human values, enhance the learning capacity of children through technology, and build the confidence among children to be innovative and creative, which in turn will make them competitive to face the future. Let me remind you that Science India Forum was formed in 2012, aligning with Dr. Abdul Kalam's vision of promoting a new generation of creative scientists. You all know that the flagship program of Science India Forum is the Shastra Pratibha contest. This year, we are organizing online exams to about 10,000 students in Bahrain. The process is on and will continue for October and November this year. In fact, in 2015, Bahrain Shastra Pratibhas, that means the winners of this the contest, 16 of them were fortunate to get an exclusive meeting with Dr. APJ at Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Bahrain. The allocated time was 20 minutes. I remember having discussed this point with our chief guest yesterday. Dr. APJ was so immersed in the chat with our children And when we reminded him about the time limit, he just waved us and said he will continue speaking with the children. Such was his affection towards students. Because of his strong willed power towards his studies, he was able to overcome all kinds of obstacles in his life and overcome every challenge in his life, achieving the biggest constitutional position of India like president. The story of his life will serve to inspire many generations to come along with him. Even during his scientific and political career, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam considered himself a teacher, and his most favorite work was to address the students. Whether it is a student of a village or a student of a big college or university, he had such an inclination towards teaching that at one point of his life, he left the cabinet rank post as the chief scientific advisor to the government of India and chose to work as a teacher. In his life, Dr. Kalam observed many scientific, academic, and spiritual progress of the students. During this, he gave many speeches and wrote books and focused on the progress of students around the world. Seeing this incomparable work done by him for the progress of the scientific field and students, it was decided to celebrate his birthday as World Students' Day since 2010 by the United Nations. I know that you all are waiting to listen to Dr. Pradeep ji's enlightening keynote speech. Before concluding, let me wish you all success and happiness in everything you do. Happy Dussehra. Dhanyavad. Over to Nandana.
Thank you, Dr. Vinod Manakara. An outstanding scientist, director, Research and Development Establishment DRDO, Ministry of Defense, Government of India. With great pleasure, may I invite Dr. Pradeep Kurulkar for the keynote speech.
Thank you, Nandana. His Excellency, Mr. Piyush Srivastava, Dr. Vinod, the SIF Bahrain Advisory Board, Shri Abgaji, the office bearers of SIF Bahrain, and all my student friends. It's a great occasion to remember a noble soul. It takes me into the memory lens what we have spent time with him. It was 27th of July 2015. Evening, I boarded a flight from Pune to Hyderabad. And by the time I reached Hyderabad, a news was flashed. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam no more. Very big shock. Couldn't believe for some time. Immediately called up a couple of my seniors and checked back. And what information came that he was delivering a lecture in front of the students in Northeast. Few minutes later, a press reporter called me up, sir, your reaction. I told him that if you print what I would say then only I would like to give reaction. Sir had written clearly on his site, no condolence meetings, no condolences. I said that we are not here to take 2 days off in his memory or to host a condolence meeting, but we are here to take a pledge to complete whatever he started and whatever is left over to be completed by us. The reporter was kind enough and he said, "Sir, as you say and whatever you say, only that much I will." It reminded me in lyrics, "Karyamagnata Jeevana Bhave, Mrityu Hitsa Vishram." In simple words, let the life be full of work and assignments till the demise only should be as a permanent rest. Many of us, we would like to have such lifestyle, to work till the last breath without any physical restriction. And then the rest comes only by means of the demise. It's very unfortunate that many of us, we may wish but may not. But here was a hero of the common man who not only lived it word and spirit. He made it a point that no one should spend a day off in his memory. Next day, I remember I was there in DMRL with for some permanent magnet related meeting. 1 minute remembrance. We stood in his remembrance in silence, and next moment we started our work. He never was of the opinion to glorify his character as an individual, even when he was alive and even afterwards. That evening, I was sitting at Drdo guest house, and it took me into the memory lens of what interaction we had. It was kind of a Midas touch to our life. Many of us, we have seen that there is a sea of change in our lives. My first encounter, I remember, was way back in 1990. There was some preliminary design review. As a young scientist, a couple of us, we were standing in the corner of one conference hall. Sir came in, just put his notebook on the table. He saw that some youngsters are there in the corner. Straight away walked right up to us. Said, "Hi, hello, how are you?" And we said, "All we are fine." His next question was, "How many of you have made mistakes?" Oh boy. Such a point blank question, the first question itself, and that to open. Very difficult. Many of us feel shy in committing that, yes, we have made mistakes openly in that forum. He turned back, sat down on his chair, and said, "Gentlemen, don't be afraid of committing if you have made a mistake. And if you say none of you have made mistakes, that means you are not working." There is simple logic. Those who work, he says, yes, they are bound to make mistakes. But you have to learn from those mistakes. Analyze why that mistake happened. Analyze what was the reason, what is the root cause, and make sure that you don't repeat the mistake. Mistakes are bound to be there, especially in the research and development area. Nothing will come just like a cakewalk, but we should not be afraid of any mistakes. We should be bold enough to accept, saying, yes, I committed a mistake. If you are not able to decipher what is the root cause, take the help of others, which you used to do. In case if we raise a hand and say, "Sir, I am stuck up here, I have already almost reached to a dead end," he would call a couple of seniors, ask them that, "Okay, Pradeep and his team they have hit the dead end, please help." Most of these meetings would be on Saturdays and Sundays, not on the working days. Those seniors would come, they would look into our analysis. If something mid-course correction they can suggest, they used to suggest, and monitor till we gave them feedback that yes, wherever we were stuck up, now that problem is solved and we are able to move forward. So it's not only that he used to say that don't be afraid of committing mistakes, but he was always helpful to resolve your issues. He was always there at the back of mind to bring out some seniors who can help you out. Otherwise, we are not accessible to us. I, I can narrate many such incidences where he has helped, he has encouraged the scientists as well as the teachers, as well as students. My interaction with him in the as a director DRDL in the missile program was something really memorable. We used to have so many issues to discuss. I remember in one of the Akash firing, after the Akash missile firing, I was there with my team on Baleshwar railway station. My team had some luggage which we had carried for the trials. We were taking it back. Everybody was sitting together. Next to us was a chaiwala who was selling a chai in kullad, earthen pot. Naturally, everybody said, "Sir, chai." So it was my duty to pick up chai and serve to all of them. One of us stood in the queue for our tickets from Bhubaneswar to Baleshwar. I was about to pick up the first two kullets, and a person next to me said, "Sir, Dr. Kalam." He just entered from behind on the same Baleshwar railway station on the same platform. I turned back. He was so witty, picked up one of the kullar and said, "Oh, nice, you bought a tea for me." Very simple way. For 2 seconds, I was struggling to get at least if there can be a glass or a cup, regular cup to serve him a tea. He didn't mind that. He picked up that kullar from me, and his reaction was, "Oh, nice, you picked up a cup of tea for me." While taking that tea, he inquired all my team members, made sure that he knows what they are doing, what was their contribution. More so, he asked them, "Is your team leader taking care of you?" And that too openly when the team leader was standing next to them. There was no inhibition. They were free to tell, even if there was something back of mind. Everybody said, "Sir, we are all okay. Okay, take care and reach safely. Let me know as you reach safely." You know, at that time, he was holding three positions. He was Secretary, Defense Research Development Organization. He was Scientific Advisor to Defense Minister and DG DRDO. A person of his stature should have just inquired on the telephone, "Is everything ready? Shall I come now for the flight campaign?" We used to see exactly opposite. He would have been among the first few to land on the site. And he would have been among the first few to leave last from the site. Monitoring every bit, every work so carefully, not only in terms of material and in terms of the machinery, but even taking care of the people who are working. It was those days that we migrated from the stationary launcher for Akash missile to mobile launcher. First incidents, the mobile launcher was designed by my team and we had positioned it. Month of November, December, very good chill close to the seashore. Tomorrow morning around 6 o'clock, we were all supposed to be there at the launch pad for the flight. The eve before, FRR, Flight Readiness Review started. Maybe somewhere around 6 o'clock in the evening till 9 o'clock. By 9, he could notice that the mace people are waiting for all of us to take the dinner so that he can wind up and go to bed so that he can come up early and then serve tea and breakfast to all of us on the launch pad. He noticed that and he immediately told. He pointed off a couple of people, maybe around 20 odd. We will meet after the dinner. Rest were all relieved. We quickly had our dinner and then sat again. The further discussions continued almost up to 1:15 in the night. At 1:15 in the night, he felt it is necessary to go right on the test site, the launch pad, and have a careful look on the operations of the launcher, mobile launch. One way it was very difficult. When my other team members had already left for the bed, I went, woke them up, reached at the site. He was there even before us on the launch pad. Showed him the functioning part of it. He had some queries and we could clear that in front of the FRR chairman also. And when everything was over, we were about to move, and then he suddenly opened up his boot of his car and said, "Oh, young man, come, let's have a cup of coffee." You see, what a great attitude. He knew that I'm going to wake up some of my members from their bed, bring them all the way in the night. Outside temperature is very low. He said, "Oh, you people, you guys are really great. I thought this would take some hour or more for our interaction, but you cleared all my doubts. Excellent, guys." And he said, "I thought maybe the chill will trouble all of us if we are going to be here for more than an hour. So I brought some coffee. Let's have a coffee." Coffee was mere an excuse. Moment the cups were in our hand, he started narrating a story to all of us. He tells Pradeep, Lord Krishna used to drive the chariot of Arjuna. Every night they used to be in the same tent in the camp. One day in the night, he finds that Lord Krishna is not there in the bed. He starts searching in the camp. And he suddenly finds him cleaning the horses near the water spout. So he was surprised. He tells, "Arey, there is a person who is meant for cleaning the horses. Why you are doing that? Please, you must be tired now. Come to the bed." Lord Krishna answers him that yes, even before the dinner, I could see the horses were not clean. I thought maybe that fellow might be engaged somewhere else, so he will come at later stage and do that. But even after dinner, when I saw it, I was worried because tomorrow I have to drive the chariot, not the fellow who is going to clean it. Message was very loud and clear. You people you are ready for tomorrow's launch. Somebody has done missile, somebody has done launcher, somebody has done and gone through the nice integration process. But the responsibility lies on my shoulder. And what way of conveying that? A story from Mahabharata. I remember even the apex body meeting, he would sit and start narrating some story in Ramayana and Mahabharata. By end of that story, everyone would get a clear message what he wants to convey today from his in that particular meeting. I know that as a scientist, this was very unusual, but he was equally strict. Those days, as a scientist, when our salary was hardly 3,500 rupees, you can imagine he once awarded a project of rupees 1 crore. Boy, me and my group were really on cloud nine. Not just because that the money was huge, but this concept which we were trying to mute or we were trying to put forth was discarded by many. He accepted. Some of the seniors were trying to tell him, "Sir, this may hit to a dead end." He said, "Fine, but let us give them a chance. If it works out, it's going to be a real great thing." I remember within a week, I got an letter from his office. Can you please give me complete description, month-wise, how you are going to do the activities for this project? So a couple of days, me and my team, we sat down We broke all our activities for next 18 months. That was the time period given. And we wrote it down. We thought, okay, it is just for sake of knowing that whether we have a clarity. Next month, the next month's activity chart which we had given, it came by fax. And there was a noting on further that kindly write down what is the status. So the money was awarded, but equally there was an accountability. He was very much keen on teaching that your responsibility, your authority comes with accountability. We are all using the public fund. We are not the profit earning agency. We need to develop new technologies. Failures could be the part of it. But while doing so, our conscience should be very clear what we are doing. And he used to tell the same thing even to the students. Further, as a Honorable President of India, when he was in Delhi, I was a part of GFAST. Mostly on Saturdays and Sundays used to be there with him and General Swaminathan. Coining some of his speeches, some of his presentations to students and universities. The focus always used to tell students on dream, daydreams, not the dreams so far, so-called we say that in the night. He used to say daydream, dream which will keep you awake, which will not allow you to sleep, which will make you run behind your dream till you achieve that. And then the other part which he taught us, face your problem. Earlier we used to say, sir, everybody faces a problem. He said, no. Write down. What is your problem? You are not able to get XYZ component. Now, what is the repercussion? So and so. What is the way you think you will be able to get this component right? And then when you do this analysis tree, you find that there are many missing links in your thought process. But when they come on a piece of paper in front of you, that's what he used to mean, face your problem. Analyze it. You will be able to find a solution. You will come to know out of two solutions which is the quickest one, which can take you to again resolving that issue. It happened as a common habit to all of us now, that be a problem of technology, be a problem of management, we generally write it down either on the whiteboard, blackboard, on a piece of paper, and try to find out how to analyze it, how to resolve it. I had something very distinct memories of it. Those days, my director, Mr. M.R. Joshi, once called me up. It was month of September. And he said, Pradeep, you have to go to Mumbai and accompany Dr. Kalam from Mumbai to Pune by train. I was surprised. From Delhi, he could have taken a flight directly to Pune. Then thought, okay, maybe he has some work in Mumbai. So reason was different. See, the man who was engrossed into scientific work was equally cared about the other part of the life. He had told Mr. M.R. Joshi, M.R., I heard the ghat sections between Mumbai and Pune are very scenic, especially after the monsoon. See what kind of information he used to have. And naturally, Mr. Joshi could understand this signal that he wants to travel by train so that he can watch that greenery in the ghat section. I was summoned. I spoke with his PA, Sheridan, just confirmed about his food habits and went and received him on airport. We boarded a train. It was a long distance train somewhere down south. And we knew that from Mumbai, Dadar, then Lonavala, Khadki, and Pune. We sat down and he noticed that there is one guy standing outside. He was deputed by the Maharashtra police as a guard for. He immediately told me, request him, come and sit with us. Twice I went. The SI was really shy and he said, nahin, sir, main idhar theek hu. He said, no, nothing good. He cannot be standing there for 3 hours just to give us a security cover. Finally, I went outside and told him, if you don't come inside, sir will come and request it. That fellow, with a great difficulty, came and sat with us. We had some nice idli, chutney, and curd rice. And our conversation started. Prior to that, he was to come actually for some preliminary design review as a chairman. And in the project officer whose project was being discussed, he gave me such a thick file with all flags into it. If he asks you this question, refer this flag. If he asks you this question, refer this flag. Oh, I was thoroughly confused. If you would have really asked some question, it would have been difficult for me even to find out a proper flag. The file was that thick, but I was still prepared. Let us give a chance. His first question was totally different. He asked me, Pradeep, we have 3 deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. One is a creator, one is a sustainer, the other is a destroyer. We generally see the temples of sustainer and destroyer. We hardly see the temple of creator, Brahma. A year back, I had been to Pushkar for some reason, and I suddenly remember, sir, there is a Brahma temple in Pushkar. The next line just bowled me clean bold. He said, I thought you were a Maharashtrian. He said, yes, sir. So you don't remember Brahmagiri in Nashik. You remember Pushkar in Rajasthan. See how well informed he was. He knew that the Brahmagiri here in Nashik also has got a Brahma temple. But this man, being a Maharashtrian, he was trying to quote me a Pushkar temple, a Brahma temple in Pushkar. Our discussion further went into birding, wildlife, Indian classical music. And I told him that, sir, I have now more than 6 years, I have learned tabla. And my first tenure in DRDO was in CVRD Audi. Pikku Vinayakaram is a very great known Ghatam master. He immediately conveyed me, oh, nice, Pradeep. And then he told me, I am also trying to learn Veena. There was a lady, disciple of Chetty Babu, and she used to come and teach Sir Veena. Couple of months here and there, and I was there in Hyderabad. As a director also, he never occupied the director's bungalow. Guest house room number 1. This was a simplicity in the character. Guest house room number 1 was his residence, although there was a dedicated bungalow for director. He said, I don't need. The next man was called and was asked to occupy that. I was staying just in the room, the opposite building. Morning, I came out for the walk and heard that he is playing something. So I just waited down below his guest house room number 1. He could also understand that somebody has walked from the front side but has not gone outside. So gave a call. Come upstairs, we'll have a cup of coffee. I went upstairs. Had a coffee and was carefully trying to listen what he's trying to play. After some time, then I found that I'm able to recognize what he's trying to play. You know what he was trying to play? He was trying to play the 15th Adhyaya of Gita, Bhagavad Gita, on Veena. Fortunately, I had that by then, my school days, we have learned that, so I could recall. Oh, his immediate reaction, oh, nice, you know it. It was very witty. He thought I may not be knowing. But the moment I could see Urdu Mula Madashakam, then he said, oh, nice, you know it. You should be. He used to always tell Gita is karma yoga. What is narrated in Gita is a karma yoga. When you can do karma? When your limbs are in fit condition, when your mind is in stable condition, then only you will be able to execute the karma. It is not something when you're tired, retired, superannuated, then you open the Gita and start reading. So no, it's a wrong notion. Gita conveys you guidelines how to behave in your normal life without taking stress. He used to explain also very nicely a stress. One day in the meeting, he said, I know you people don't talk with each other, and that is how it develops the stress. He said, sir, no, we discuss. He called a glass of water, maybe a couple of, he gulped and he left the leftover glass on the table and asked one of us, hey, you lift it, hold it straight. For first few seconds, there was no pain. It was okay. After half a minute, that fellow's hand started trembling. After a minute, he said, sir, it's very difficult to hold. He said, this is what I'm trying to tell you. If you speak with each other without holding the grudge, without holding some kind of opinions, which you should not have been holding it, then there won't be any stress. You have seen, it's half a glass of water. If you just pick it up, it doesn't cause any stress. But if you keep holding it for no reason, then it develops a stress. It's very simple in narrating, practical in showcasing the idea behind what he wanted to say. And I think we could remember it forever in our life. I remember that my travel with him in the train, as we reached Kharkiv station, which is very close to Pune, then he suddenly asked me, tell me, Pradeep, what is tomorrow's topic? I told him. Said, okay, fine. We reached our guest house and immediately said, see, since morning, initially in the flight, now in the train, all day I was sitting. Let's go for a walk. We started walking and hit the first bungalow on the left-hand side, which belonged to our director. And he said, just check back if Mr. Joshi is there. Request him for a cup of tea by 7:30. So I told him. So Joshi, of course, said, yes, I will join. As we were taking the round within the colony, he could notice the number of officers who were required next day for the discussions. And he passed on the same message that can they be called for a cup of coffee? He said, sir, I'll go and check back. I requested them. Many of them, they joined. And then it was very easy. By 7:45, I think most of the team, which was supposed to give presentation next day by 10:30, was there in the guest house. I could understand now formal presentation also would be asked. So I requested director's PA for a laptop and projector in the guest house room. Discussion started. Within 15 minutes, the discussions were formal. And it continued till 1:30 in the night, with half an hour break in between for the dinner. By 1:30, he gave a shock. Those days, Pune was very badly connected to Delhi. Only one flight in the evening. And he knew that tomorrow whole day, there is no chance that he can go back to Delhi quickly. So he requested our director, MR, can I borrow your car and driver? He can drop me by 5:30 in the morning at Mumbai. Boy, whole day this man was traveling. Now from 7:40 till 1:30, he literally conducted the entire preliminary design review. And now he was telling, instead of sleeping here in the bed, I'll sleep in the car and you drop me by 5:30 in the morning. This was the speed with which he was working, and he made others to work so easily. Nobody could feel that it is torturous to work like this. Next day, 10:30, when we were supposed to start the actual PDR, By then, our director received a fax communication from his office from Delhi for the sanction of project which we discussed yesterday night. This makes a lot of difference. I remember even the morning meeting, he never used to say, no, you should not waste time of morning meeting in my room. So morning meeting used to be at 6:15 or 6:30. 5 or 6 of us, we will walk along with him, 6 rounds within the quarters. First round, one person will be walking along with him. He finishes his topic. By the time he finishes the round, and he tells you, I think Pradeep is there behind. You ask him to come and join. So second round, his topic. Third round, third person's topic. Everybody is cleared within the next 1 hour. Don't come to my office. You go to your department. Because your people will be waiting for decisions. They would need your guidance. They would need your decisions. And if you spend your time with me in the morning meeting, till that time, they will be in lurch. So these morning meetings used to be like this in the morning walk. It's very easy to say now, but it was a paradigm shift in the work culture. People accepted, continued.
Pradeepji,
Yes.
excuse me, sorry to interrupt. There are a few questions waiting for you. So we will go for those questions after you conclude.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So this was the way we worked with him. As I said in my initial narration, that Karya Magnata Jivana Bhave Mrityudhisa Vishranti. He took the rest only by when the demise came. Otherwise, we all know the sole aim of his life was to make this country, Bharat Mata, as a Vishwa Guru by achieving the heights of technology, mostly as we were working in terms of weapons, but the spin-offs of all these technologies to be helpful to the common man in his or her day-to-day life. It's a very great opportunity given to me by SIF Bahrain today to recall his memories on his birth anniversary, and which is being celebrated now World Students Day, a real apt celebration of the life which he lived. Thank you very much. We can take on some of the questions.
So thank you for the very motivational speech. There are many students in this audience. One question asked is, what are the activities of DRDO and what studies one should carry out to join DRDO as a scientist?
Okay, simple thing. As an engineer, as a BTech graduate also, you can look for opportunity. If you are into pure sciences, you need to complete your master's. There are a number of ways. Drdo.org is the site. I'll repeat, drdo.org. And there is a portal called as RAC, Recruitment and Assessment Center. If you hit this portal on drdo.org, you will be able to see number of opportunities. The opportunities are even to join as junior research fellow, senior research fellow. You can even appear for the lowermost rank, that is scientist B. And those who have already got some experience in the industry and still would like to join DRDO, there are some lateral entries also at scientist C and D with the commensurating experience. So all this is well explained on the DRDO site. If you are into a specific discipline, let's say ENTC, the same site explains our activities in the area of electronic warfare, radar. So you can go through and find out what is the topic of your interest and accordingly look for the choice of joining particular DRDO laboratory. Am I clear? Nandana, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can go ahead with the next question.
So another question asked by one of the students is, what inspired you, sir, to become a scientist?
Oh, the best thing is to think out of box. You and me, we all learn the same formulas, the same theory from the book. That we should be able to keep in one part of our brain. And to find out a solution, can we think out of box? Unfortunately, our present system of education doesn't allow it. But at many places where the institutes are autonomous, they are teaching. So can we take some small problems and try and find out through survey, through literature survey, through going through papers, solution based on the problems as a science. That will change your attitude towards looking into the education. Otherwise, today's education is to learn, to mug up, and to reproduce in the exam. That will not be helpful for becoming scientist. You should have a habit of giving a deep thought on a particular process or on a problem and try and think out of box. People may laugh at you, doesn't matter. Because some of the ideas always are cranky. But over a period, when you struggle to realize them, then only you become scientist. So the first and most quality when one what should have is neglect others' criticism, think out of box, and focus, as Dr. Kalam used to say, in acquiring knowledge, not the education.
Thank you, sir. And one of the other questions that have come are, could you please explain more about the Akash missile?
It's a surface-to-air missile. I would say one of the fantastic tactical weapon system developed by the Indian scientists. As a weapon system, it has got radars, it has got a ground control center, missile, and a mobile launcher. The launcher at one time can carry 3 missiles, and number of such launchers can be connected to the battery control center, which is connected to a radar. This radar has a capability of search and track various targets. It can track, search, and track more than 200 targets at a time. Then it prioritizes which is the most, I would say, dangerous target for us for that location. So this is all computed at the battery control center. And then the battery control center knows the locations of the launchers where missiles are located. So it computes and finds out that which launcher and which missile, if it is fired, it can tackle the most dangerous target within the shortest possible time. So that is how it is being tackled. Now, how much time it takes, that's the biggest thing. The incoming targets like fighter aircrafts are flying at the speed of Mach 2.5. That is 2.5 times the sound of, speed of the sound. We made Akash missile to reach and cut these targets as a safer distance. We made it running at Mach 3. That is 3 times the speed of the sound. That's a game of this speed. So at 200 kilometers, if some target is detected, maybe by the time it reaches 100 kilometers, the computation is over and the missile is launcher and missile is selected and it is waiting till the target comes in its range and then the missile is fired. So it cuts it off between 35 to 40 kilometers. This whole process of detection to destruction in Akash takes only 27 seconds. So you can understand that no human intervention can help it. A human by the time come to know that this is a friend or this is a foe, oh, that target would have given you a damage. So all these things are interlinked through a very secure network with the kind of software which enables to know, to find out which is the friend, which is the foe target, and quickly takes the decision. Then what the soldiers and officers are supposed to do? They are supposed to see that these systems are running healthy, and that is how then they integrate and keep looking at it. Let's say on a particular launcher, all the three missiles are fired, then that information goes to the battery control center. So till these fresh new missiles are loaded onto that launcher, battery control center will not take into account that particular location and that particular launcher. This is how the whole system works. I repeat, from detection to destruction, detection at around 200 kilometers and destruction at around 35 kilometers, it just takes 25 to 27 seconds. This is something really great, and that is how now I can say that our boundaries and our vital areas and vital points are well secured against the most dangerous air attacks.
Thank you, sir. One of the other questions that have come are, which was the most exciting experiment that you have done?
Most exciting
experiment, yes, that you have done.
Okay, I was into development of some power supplies, and these power supplies were required to be a part of the mobile launcher. Whenever we say mobile, it's on a vehicle chassis, so it has its own weight to payload capacity restrictions, weight and volume restrictions. Over a period, the users, that is the services, started asking, no, not one, but we should have second power supply also on board. So one comes off, the other one is available. So I have a freedom. I can go anywhere right up to close to the boundary of our adversary and can take toll. There was a challenge. There was a challenge to develop such a compact, lightweight power supply. And we made a paradigm shift. What we generally see the alternators, those who are learning engineering or maybe in 12th standard, they would understand what I'm saying to say. We have a rotary flux alternator. There is a rotor at the center, then there is an armature at the center, and there is a stationary part of the motor or generator over it. Here the flux, magnetic flux is radial. Typically, if you say a 40 kilowatt generator of permanent magnets, it is around, it weighs around 340 to 350 kgs. It takes a good amount of volume also. I experimented in a different way to make an axial flux machine. This 340 kgs, we reduce it down to 85 kgs. Remove the shaft and make the alternator hollow shaft, remove the flywheel from the engine and straight away push the alternator on the engine. So the dimension of the DG set was the dimension of one engine. And then in a place where I was to accommodate one conventional DG set with a staggered by width, I could accommodate two DG sets. It was euphoric. In fact, the army who needed this claim, one of my meritorious award came specifically for this development. Today, it is being used in number of missile power sources, and it's a very. I am basically an electrical engineer, so was looking for something where I could do a core development in electrical engineering, and I could achieve that through this experimentation. These type of opportunities, they do come. Why I say opportunities, Dr. Kalam always used to say, given each challenge, if you can turn it into opportunity, then only you should call yourself as a scientist. If a challenge comes and you say, oh, very difficult, how to see, nobody has done, then don't call yourself scientist. If you can convert a challenge into opportunity, then people will call you as a scientist. This was a very big challenge to us. We could convert it into an opportunity, made an, first of all, development in India. And today it is transferred to industry. Industry is also taking advantage of it.
Thank you, sir. Here's another question. Are all the missiles that are deployed ready for launch at any time in defense?
No, each has its own role. For example, the SAMs, that is surface to air missiles, they need to be deployed and kept ready. But the missiles with which we are going to launch an attack on our adversary's land, they need not be kept ready all the time. Only when such situation looks to be getting augmented, then they are kept ready. But otherwise also, the readiness, if you say there are levels 1, 2, 3, then most of these missiles, once they are integrated, they are at the readiness level 1. Further to the readiness of operation, that comes only as and when the situation demands.
Thank you, sir. One of the other questions are, what was your first invention, sir?
Very difficult to remember now. 33 years, a long period in service. I think we were working on the Akash and converted an electro-hydraulic servo to all-electric servo. That is what, and it was not individual, of course, a teamwork. Most of these inventions are teamwork. I would name that as one of my first invention.
Thank you very much for this very informative session, sir. And now I would like to invite Mr. Mukesh Mukundan to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Nandana. Thank you, everybody.
Mukesh, unmute, please. Unmute, please.
I think you're not unmute.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. Got it now. Our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Karolkar, SIF President, Dr. Vinod Manikara, SIF Board Advisory members, teachers, students, school coordinators, parents, well-wishers, and SIF volunteers, a very good morning to everybody. Today we celebrated the World Students' Day, the birth anniversary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I'm here to formally thank all those who made this event a great success. We express our sincere gratitude and thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Pradeep Karolkar, for the keynote speech. Thank you very much, sir. We do thank our president, Dr. Vinod Manikara, for the presidential address. We take this opportunity to thank the parents, the students who have been extremely supportive to promote science among the students. A big thank you to Mr. Abgar Ravindranath Babu, the organizing secretary of SIF Middle East, for the continuous support. In today's era where the events and meets have become virtual, we thank the technical team of SIF Bahrain for the support on conducting this program so smoothly. We thank our advisory board members for their continued support. Though thanking our own colleagues is being too formal, however, it is customary to thank our General Secretary, Mr. Prashant Dharmaraj, for the welcome speech. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues at Science India Forum Bahrain. I thank our team, the executive committee, for their effort they have put in for the success of our events. A big thanks to our today's MC, Nandana Chandrasekhar, for navigating us throughout this program. Last but not the least, if I missed any one of you, please accept our sincere thanks and appreciation from the bottom of our heart. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Mr. Mukesh. That concludes today's program. Thank you all and have a nice day.